close till I get up. Time is barely on our side. I don't wanna waste what's left. The storms we chase are leading us.
Hey everyone, before the start of this video, I'd like to thank MSI for sending out this motherboard to me, and also Dreamcore for sort of giving me the parts to test this motherboard. So please do check both of them out in the link in the description down below. So with that, let's jump right into today's review. Let's go. Hey everyone, it's me Ryan here, and today we're taking a look at this. Right here is the MSI Z490 Ace motherboard. So this is basically a higher tier over the previous board I took a look at, which was the Z490 Gaming Carbon. So how much more does this board have to offer over the MSI Z490 Gaming Carbon? Let's find out. Let's go. So starting off with the cost, this board will retail for about 695 SGD. That's an additional 260 more compared to the MSI MPG Carbon. However, this board comes with a lot more features as it is one of MSI's highest end boards out there for its consumers. So for things that you do get with this motherboard, you do get a whole bunch of menus, pamphlets, CDs and guides, 4-pin RGB splitter, 3-pin RGB and Corsair RGB extension cables, times 4 SATA cables, MSI case badge in this particular gold color, and a Wi-Fi 6 antenna. Now for the internal connectors, starting from the bottom left, you have your typical audio connector, chassis intrusion connector, RGB and ARGB connectors next to 2 fan connectors, Thunderbolt add-in card connector, 2 USB 2.0 internal connectors that have been braced, which is great, RGB switch, power and reset buttons, and a debug postcode readout. You also do get your front panel connectors on the extreme right hand side, with front panel 1 at the bottom and front panel 2 at the top. From the bottom right hand side, you have 3 connectors all linked to LN2 cooling, 3 banks of 2 SATA 6GB ports, 1 right angled USB 3.0 connector, USB 3.1 header, 24-pin power, debug LED lights, and the system fan header. At the top of the motherboard, you have the 6 fan header on your motherboard, next to an ARGB header, Corsair RGB header which is for Corsair products, pump header next to a CPU fan header, and on the extreme top left hand side you have your CPU power, which is in this case a 8x8 power face. One thing to note is that there's 3 M.2 slots on this board with 5 PCIe slots, the top one nearest to the CPU being a PCIe X16 slot, below that is a PCIe X1, followed by PCIe X8, PCIe X1 again, and last of all is a PCIe X4 slot. For the I/O, you do get a clear CMOS button in red, a BIOS flashback button. Next to those are PS and PS2 combo port with 2 USB 2.0s Type A, 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2 ports in red, 2 more USB 3.2 Gen 1 ports with a 1GB per second LAN port on top of it. To its neighbors is another USB 2.0 Gen 2 X2 Type C port, whereas on top of that is another USB 3.2 Gen 2 Type A and a 2.5 GPS LAN port. Last of all, you do have your Wi-Fi 6 antennas and your audio ports. In terms of RGB lighting of this board, I would say it's quite decent. It's a bit comparable to the Gaming Carbon board, with lights on the chipset itself and the VRM heatsink. It's quite bright and vibrant. All the RGB on this board can be controlled via Dragon Center, which I will link in the description down below. For power delivery of this board, you have a 16x1 power face with an 8x8 power delivery system. One thing to note is that you don't have to use 8x8 for the power delivery. You can just use one 8-pin and that's good enough with the i9. You only need it if you say you're overclocking this board quite intensely. For the VRMs, it got a max temperature of 75 degrees on the open air test bench running Prime 95 on the max CPU power draw load with an i9 10900K. For looks, I feel it's quite great compared to the cheaper board, where this one definitely has the more expensive looks with more metal covering the face of the board and a black and gold color scheme. I'm also a huge fan of the brushed aluminum on the M2 heatsinks, which are extremely nice to look at. The white physical power button and reset switch along with the postcode readouts are great, as it's a nice accent to the entire motherboard. What I do like about this board is the amount of M.2 slots along with SATA connectors. This allows you to add a whole bunch of drives to your system, whether you want to run RAID or just make a server. The digital postcode readout is also great for diagnosing, at the same time to see your CPU temperature once it's posted, which is extremely handy. The 2.5 gig networking built-in is great, along with the CMOS reset and BIOS flash buttons that are great for troubleshooting. Last of all, having 6 fan headers on this board is amazing, as you can connect all your fans to it without having to use a fan hub. For the things that can be improved, there isn't really much over here. I'd like to see a normal USB 3.1 header that's not right angled, as some of them may cause incompatibility with certain cases. As for a nice have, I would say an RGB strip on the right hand side of the board would be great, making it look a bit more premium and thus providing a bit more lighting into your case.
So overall, the MSI Z490 Ace motherboard is quite a decent board. I would say it's probably one of the boards where people would buy if let's say they have an i9 10900K and probably do a bit of overclocking in terms of liquid cooling by AIO or via LN2. Though I don't think there'll be that many LN2 users out there. So do check out the link in the description down below, where you can find where to buy this board and some information about the board also. So with that, we have come to the end of the video. If you guys liked it, leave a like, subscribe, share a comment down below, and I'll guess I'll catch you guys next time.